Again, my name is Dr. Mary Van. I am Clinical Director at ThriveX. We are a functional medicine practice focused on nutrition. I am board certified in nutrition as well as holding my doctorate in pharmacy. And I got involved with cannabis because we've been finding that more and more patients are looking for more natural therapies, nutrition being one of them, and cannabis being the other. You ever heard runner's high? Okay, what causes a runner's high? Endorphins, right? And wrong, not endorphins. Endorphins are very relatively large molecules. They're great in the plasma. They protect the body, they decrease pain. And yes, a small amount of these large molecules will cross into the blood-brain barrier where it begins to trigger the mu receptors, right? Kappa receptors. But not enough for it to actually get you high. What if I told you that those who run, those who experience a runner's high, you are literally high. You are literally high. Your brain, at the point where you feel that high, is physiologically no different than someone who smokes a joint. What if I told you guys that? Because it's true. The grandfather of marijuana, Ralph Mouchelon, coming out of Israel, in the 1960s, he found THC. In the 1980s, he found another chemical called anandamide. And that product is produced naturally in your body. So your body produces its own cannabinoid products. That's how important it is. So when I say you're having a runner's high, I literally mean you're high. So once he found this chemical, he said, wait a second, this chemical is just like THC. Well, if your body's producing this chemical, why is it producing it? Our bodies don't produce things unless there's a purpose. And he looks and he looks and he finally finds an entire new system. Now in elementary school, we're taught about the digestive system, we're taught about the integumentary system, the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, but one system they fail to teach us about is one called the endocannabinoid system. The endocannabinoid system was found in 1990. It is an entire system of neurotransmitters. And that neurotransmitter system has one focus, homeostasis, keeping your body in balance. So, the endocannabinoid system is kind of an interesting system because it's a neurotransmitter system. And we're accustomed to working with neurotransmitters that go from presynaptic to postsynaptic. The endocannabinoid system is completely different than that. It does retrograde neurotransmission, and that's why we say it is involved in homeostasis. So this is a simplified receptor system, which are glutamate receptors, and it's basically discussing, it's looking at ascending pain pathways. So for example, I'm wearing 4-inch heels, and these really hurt, and I think they really hurt. So what's going on in my body? My feet is going to start sending up pain receptors. Hey, this doesn't feel so great. And the pain receptors goes up, depolarizing calcium channels. The depolarization of calcium channels opens the calcium channels, calcium comes flowing out, and begins to stimulate glutamate. Glutamate or substance P. Upon stimulation, substance P or glutamate will begin to come down the postsynaptic pathway. And for those of you who are familiar with neuropathic pain, that's where neuropathic pain comes from. You start feeling the tingling sensation as your body screams out, I really should have worn flats. So what the endocannabinoid system does in a homeostasis point of view is once it realizes the danger is over, now it's time to calm down. Now I said via the ascending pathway, this is the ascending pathway, it causes stimulation of calcium. So now there's a lot of calcium pouring into the synaptic cleft. So we have tons of calcium pouring in. All that calcium, what's going to do is it's going to trigger the production of endocannabinoid ligands. So whether it be AEA or 2AG, what's going to happen is that those endocannabinoid ligands will begin to stimulate receptors, CB1 or CB2 receptors, on the presynaptic neurons. The presynaptic neurons will therefore begin to shut down calcium. So the calcium channel begins to shut down. As calcium channels begin to shut down, it shuts the glutamate receptors down. Now glutamate requires an active transport system
Because it can no longer be actively transported out, glutamate begins to build up, and then it begins to break down. And the breakdown product is GABA. GABA, unlike glutamate, is a passive diffusion process. So as more and more begin to build up, GABA is released into the synaptic cleft, giving us homeostasis. This becomes incredibly important in the treatment of neuropathic pain, as well as in treating different types of neurological conditions. For example, GABA is just one receptor that's going to start depositing itself into the synaptic cleft. Dopamine. So those who are dealing with Alzheimer's patients, Parkinson's patients, and seizure patients, this becomes an incredibly important pathway because what you're doing is you're decreasing cytotoxic neurotransmitters like glutamate, and you're adding in inhibitory proteins like GABA, like the dopamine. Now, what I'm going to go into next is what's called the entourage effect. Tell me, what's the best part of an apple? What's the healthiest part of an apple? What's the healthiest part of the apple? What's the healthiest part of the apple? We have no idea. Every single part of that apple is good. You got fiber, you got a big sugar boost, you got malic acid, which helps your body absorb nutrients. Every part of that apple is actually good for you. The same thing with cannabis. Cannabis was put together by Mother Nature, and it does us no good to try to break it apart and try to improve upon perfection. So when we tell patients to pick cannabis products, we actually recommend that they choose what's called a broad spectrum antibiotic. We get our patients to select cannabis products. We try to get them to pick a broad spectrum cannabis products because we don't actually know what's the best part. For example, cancer therapy. Most cancer studies are being done with CBD, and we suspect that CBD probably does 90% of the work. That doesn't mean THC doesn't do any work, but THC may be the kill shot you need. So when we talk about the entourage effect, we're saying that multiple components of the plant, some of which I haven't even gone into yet, are good for you. So we really stress the importance of not doing isolates. An isolate is like pure CBD, pure THC. We don't recommend that because we don't know what the best part of the plant is. Now, for those who are not familiar with dosings of CBD, CBD and THC are almost always mixed together. It is a natural product. So you're going to see a lot of these ratios. When you're looking at ratios, it's important to know it always begins with CBD and ends with THC. So you'll see 20-1. The 20-1 is the over-the-counter nutraceutical. The 1-to-1 is what some people may know as essential oil. It is 1 part CBD, 1 part THC, and it's an incredibly concentrated form. I believe in the state of Florida, and correct me if I'm wrong, 20-1 and 10-1 is really what's available right now. If you go to other states, then you get an amalgamation, depending on what type of clinical response you want. So therapeutic goals for cannabis. We get a lot of patients that come to our office, and sometimes I'll bring it up to them, sometimes they'll bring it up to me, but the number one fear when it comes to cannabis is, I don't want to get high. No, I don't want to get high. And I tell them, if you're being treated with cannabis and you're getting high, your doctor's doing a crap job. Because that is not the point of cannabis. If I want to give you a drug that's going to lay you out on the couch and leave you there all day, I don't have to give you cannabis. I give you OxyContin. I give you Valium. I give you Percocet. I don't need to go all crazy and do cannabis. But if I want you to get off that couch, get up, walk out that door, and lead a normal, healthy life, I'm probably going to reach for that cannabis product. And that's because cannabis products have been shown in clinical trials to help heal the body, to return it to its natural state. So the therapeutic goal of cannabis therapy is not getting high. The therapeutic goal for cannabis is to get the patient healthy enough to walk out that door and lead a healthy life. And that's actually probably the most important message of my slides, is that the general media, perception is that cannabis is this crazy drug that gets you high, when it's the complete opposite. And I was hoping to demystify that concept by coming here. From the 1950s, we've been focused on disease state management. And quite frankly, disease state management sucks. It doesn't work. All we're doing is we're just patching up the problem, chasing one side effect with another side effect with another side effect. The patients are getting sick of it. They're sick of it. Instead of patch jobs, they actually want to be well again. They want to prevent conditions. They want to feel better about themselves, and that's what cannabis does. And that's what the draw is. Because the number one thing cannabis therapy does for patients, something that mainstream healthcare has not been able to do, and that is to empower the patient to take control of their own health. As pharmacists, as healthcare professionals, it's our duty to help guide them, to help them select what the best therapies are, to understand what the side effects are, and to set their goals. And so that is the conclusion of my lecture, because I'm really hoping that this whole lecture has helped demystify the concept of cannabis, marijuana,